parenting. It's one of the most beautiful and challenging adventures life gives us. But when your child has ADHD, that journey takes on an entirely different landscape. It's like being handed a map with half the landmarks missing. You're trying to navigate a world that doesn't always make sense, where routines blur, emotions shift like weather, and love is the only constant that keeps you grounded. You look at your child and you see brilliance, a spark of light, a mind that moves fast, curious, and alive. But you also see their struggle, the restless fidgeting, the forgotten instructions, the tears that come from frustration rather than defiance. ADHD isn't just about distraction or energy. It's about a brain that dances to a rhythm of its own, one that can soar in creativity, yet stumble on structure. And as a parent, you're there in the middle of that beautiful storm, trying to hold the compass steady, even when you're not sure where true north is anymore. You start noticing small things before anyone else does. Your child loses their shoes again. Their homework disappears. Their emotions overflow, sometimes from the tiniest triggers. At first, you question yourself. Maybe I'm not patient enough. Maybe I'm too strict. Maybe I'm failing them somehow. But then you learn something profound. ADHD isn't about being lazy or careless. It's about a brain that's wired differently. A brain that seeks stimulation and meaning so deeply that ordinary tasks sometimes feel impossible. These children don't lack focus. They focus intensely, but often on the things that light up their hearts, not necessarily what's on the schedule. And suddenly, you begin to see the beauty in their design. You see creativity blooming in places where others might only see chaos. You see courage because every day, your child wakes up and faces a world that doesn't always understand them. And that realization changes everything. There are days you feel like you've said the same sentence 100 times. Days when you feel invisible, unheard, like your words evaporate before they even reach your child's ears. You try charts, routines, reminders, gentle voices, firm voices, and still some days feel like a losing battle. But then at night they fall asleep in your arms, breathing softly against your chest. And in that stillness, you're reminded why you keep trying. You see their innocence again, their big heart, their quiet bravery in a noisy world. Parenting a child with ADHD teaches you patience you never knew you had. You start celebrating the small victories, a morning without tears, a finished worksheet, a calm bedtime. And you learn to forgive yourself. Because there will be days when you raise your voice, when you feel drained, when you think, I can't do this anymore. But you can, and you do, because love always finds a way to reset itself. You begin to understand that parenting ADHD isn't about perfection. It's about persistence, compassion, and believing that progress, no matter how small, still counts. Sometimes the hardest part isn't your child's behavior. It's the world's reaction to it. Teachers might label them difficult. Family members might whisper about better discipline. Strangers might judge your parenting in the grocery store line. And you learn painfully that most people still don't understand ADHD. They see a child who can't sit still, not the one whose mind is racing with ideas. They see distraction, not the struggle to filter 1,000 thoughts all fighting for attention. But you, as their parent, become their voice. You learn to advocate, to explain, to push back against systems that measure worth by quietness or conformity. You begin to teach others that ADHD isn't a flaw. It's a different kind of wiring, one that needs understanding, not punishment. And with every conversation, every meeting, every moment you stand up for your child, you make the world just a little more compassionate for them and for others like them. You become not just a parent, but a guide, a protector, and an educator. And then something shifts. You stop trying to mold your child into what the world expects and start nurturing who they truly are. You see how their energy can become creativity. How their impulsiveness can turn into courage. How their sensitivity is, in fact, deep empathy in disguise. You realize ADHD doesn't need fixing, it needs understanding. And when your child feels seen and accepted, they start to blossom. They begin to trust themselves because you believed in them first. Their self-worth starts to grow from your words, your patience, your example. And slowly, you start to see that this journey, though messy and unpredictable, is one of love, resilience, and growth on both sides. You begin to see that raising a child with ADHD isn't about control, it's about connection. It's about learning to meet your child where they are, not where the world says they should be. Yes, there will still be hard days. There will still be moments when you question everything. But there will also be laughter, the kind that fills rooms with light. There will be unexpected joy, deep conversations, and moments where your child surprises you with their wisdom. Because in the end, ADHD doesn't define your child. It's simply one color in the spectrum of who they are, a bright, vivid one. So to every parent navigating ADHD, you're not alone. You're doing better than you think. And one day you'll look back and realize this journey taught you the true meaning of unconditional love. Because every challenge was really an invitation to love deeper, to listen closer, and to see beauty in the places the world overlooks.